In Montreal, we live and breathe creativity. This is where big players and small studios craft their greatest success stories and come to harness our superpowers, our top talent, our innovative ideas, and our appetite for adventure. We're building a multiplayer ecosystem for the bold and the brave, here to propel projects to new heights and push the entire creative industry forward by giant steps. We're designing an open and inspiring world known for its diversity and joie de vivre. We're behind thousands of celebrated works from all four corners of the galaxy. We are Montreal. Get in the game.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today. My name is Amélie Dupé. I'm an advisor in international talent attraction at Montreal International, which is the economic development agency for Greater Montreal. I am super excited and so honored to be moderating today's panel discussion on working in Montreal's gaming and VFX industry. So I really hope that today you will be able to learn a great lot about what Montreal has to offer for people who want to pursue a career here in the gaming, VFX, and animation industry. So this exclusive panel is organized as part of our international recruitment event, Journée Québec Gaming and VFX, which will be taking place virtually from November 15 to November 21st. So we will get back on that later on and give you more details about that. So getting into the topic, Montreal is emerging as the powerhouse of the country's VFX, gaming, and animation productions. So with global cutting-edge projects being made here every day, Montreal is where it's at right now. So to prove my point, I have with me today 4 superwomen who have made it in the gaming and VFX industry. So first, I'd like to welcome Alexandra Nemeri, UI UX lead at Square Enix Montreal. Hi, Alexandra. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, everyone.
Next up, we have Aude Berest, senior recruiter at Cinesite. Hi, Aude. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Then we have Christine Xiao, global talent acquisition manager at miHoYo. Good afternoon, Christine.
Good afternoon. Hi, everyone.
And finally, we have Fleur Marty, who's joining us as an executive producer at Warner Brothers Games Montreal and Women in Game ambassador. Hi, Fleur. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. I would also like to thank our 2 amazing co-hosts for joining us today. So we have Valérie Degnaud, director at the audiovisual cluster at Quebec Film and Television Council. Hello, Valérie.
Hi, Emily. Hi, everyone.
I also have Emilien Roscanu, interim executive director at la Guilde du Jeu Vidéo du Québec. Good afternoon, Emilien.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, thank you both so much for co-hosting today's exclusive panel and sharing your insight with the candidates. Last but not least, my friend and colleague Joshua Hulaiko will be there today to assist us with any technical matters, and he will also lead the Q&A session at the end. Hi, Josh.
Hi, everybody.
But before we dive into the panel, I'd like to take the temperature of the room and get a sense of who's in the audience. So Josh will send 2 surveys that you will find on the poll section on the right side of your screen. So if you could take a second to answer them, that would be really appreciated. So the first question is about knowing in which of the following industry you currently work. So do you work in video game? Do you work in VFX? Animation or other. So as the answers are coming in, I see that, oh, wow, that's interesting. So a great lot of you work, 60% work in the video game, and 8% in the VFX and 8% in animation. So only 25 in others. So maybe it could be in IT and you want to pursue a career. So, well, hopefully we will make you want to pursue your career in the gaming industry. The second question is about knowing in which continent you live, so where you come from. So let's see the answers. So yeah, okay, it's no surprise. 43% come from South America. Thank you so much. You're always there for our event, and we love you so much. We love having you around all the time. We have 24% from Europe, 15% from North America, 10% from Asia, 9% from Africa, and 2% from Oceania. So such a diverse audience. So thank you so much for tuning in today and being with us. We really appreciate it. So our goal for this panel is that whatever your role is in the industry, that you will come away with a new perspective of what it's like to work in a studio here in Montreal and what great projects you could be collaborating on. So here's the format we will be using today to give you like a better idea of what to expect today. So first, we'll have a short presentation of the key figures of the industry from our co-host. We'll then take a few moments to briefly discuss our panelists' stories and their background. And after that, I'll kick off the conversation with our curated theme and questions we have. And then we'll open up the floor for questions. So be aware that all the questions you have, you can just type them in the question section on the right side of your screen. So if you see a question that you would like to have answered or that is interesting to you, do not type it again. You can vote for the question, and the more votes we will have for a question, the more likely we are to address it in the end. So this is how it's going to go. Please keep in mind that immigration topics will not be discussed today, as we have different webinars for these topics. So if you have questions, you can still ask them in the question section, and Josh will give you some useful links about that, but we will not be talking about immigration today. Also know that this panel will be recorded and will be made available on our website and our social media after the event. Sounds good? Great. So let's get into it, and let's get started with the short intro of the key figures of the industry. So Valérie and Emilien, the floor is yours.
So hi everyone, I think I shall begin. I'm Valérie Vigneault. As Emily was saying, I'm the director of the audiovisual cluster here in Quebec. So our work is to first attract all the production that comes that want to go and film here in Quebec. And also at the cluster, it's to support the growth of our industry. So it's really important for us to be with you today because we have a lot of needs in terms of employment and talents here in Montreal. So as you can see, the VFX and animation industry in Quebec is a big industry. We have more than 5,550 jobs. We have, as of now, 2,000 open positions in this field of work. The median age is young, it's 32 years old, and the median annual salary is $82,500. So you could have a great salary at a young age, and we have a lot of open position. Also, as you can see, we have a ratio of 66% of men, 33.9% of women, and 0.1% of non-binary. So we are working with the industry to see how we can have more women in our industry, and how can we do the family conciliation, family work conciliation, and those are some programs that we're working with our studios. In this slide, what you can see is that there was a tremendous growth in our industry since 2014 about the evolution of jobs in Quebec. So as of today, like I was saying, it's 5,500 jobs, and we're looking for 2023 at 8,500 jobs only in Quebec. In terms of business volume, for the visual effect industry, we have a growth of 26% since since 2019 for a $622 million business volume industry. For the animation, I lost my slide. For the animation, as you can see, we had a big growth in the last few years, 34%. It's a really, it's an industry that is in growth and that we are looking for a lot of talent in this field. As you can see, and as you have maybe seen all those projects, and for maybe all of the projects that you're looking at on any platforms, have now VFX or animation produced here in Montreal. So those are just a small amount of project that we've worked on, but now, as of now on, we are on all projects. I invite you to go see our website. It's the vfx-montreal.com, where you can have all those data that we've talked about. And also we have the school and the job position if you're looking to come and work in Montreal. And maybe, as you know, the VFX and animation industry here in Montreal is one of the top 3 mondial hubs in all the world. So if you want to come and work in a very creative city, just come in Montreal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So thank you, Valérie. I'm Emilien Roscanou. I'm the interim executive director at La Guilde du Jeu Vidéo du Québec. So here at La Guilde, we are an association that regroups the majority of the studios that are working here in the industry. So it's really the place to be here in Montreal to work in the video game industry. Some words about our industry. Quebec is positioned among the world's 3 major video game production centers in the world. So as Valérie said, in her field, we are also one of the top 3 in the world. And it's the main driver of this industry in Canada. So we have the majority of projections that are made here in Quebec. Montreal specifically has the biggest concentration of international video game studios in all of the world. So you've heard about the big names: Ubisoft, Square Enix, Behavior, all of the international are here in Montreal. We have more than 270 active studios in Quebec. The majority of them are in Montreal. And the Quebec's video game industry employs more than 14,000 video game professionals right as of now. And we have a huge growth potential because we are growing of several hundreds each year, and we have thousands of job openings as of now. We have a vibrant ecosystem. So it's not only video game work, but you can also study video games in Montreal, and you can study while you work. So this is a great opportunity to come in Montreal because we have a lot of programs that are specific to video games in our universities and private institutions. We have programs in 3D, digital creation, and all of those fields that are great for video game making. And Montreal is also a world-renowned hub for AI innovation. So we know that AI is coming more and more into video game development. So it's the place to be if you want to work on AI projects in the future. Some numbers about our industry. So as I said, about half of video game jobs in Canada are here in Quebec. The huge majority of them are in Montreal. And Quebec is only 25% of Canada's population. So we have a great representation here. Our industry has an impact of more than $1 billion in Quebec's economy in 2021. And the employment has grown by 700% in the last 15 years. So the potential for growth is really here. Finally, the video game industry workforce is relatively young. The average age of a worker in Quebec in this industry is of 28 years old. We have more and more women that are working in the field. We are really working hard on that to be attractive regarding for inclusion of women and non-binary and trans people. So this is a work in progress, but we are making progress there. And the average salary in 2019 for working in the Canadian video game companies was $76,000. So compared to the average salary in Canada, those are great salaries here. And finally, if you want to have more information about the projects that are made in Quebec here in video games, you can visit gamesfromquebec.com, where you can see all the projects that we worked on. You know the biggest names, Assassin's Creed, for example, but we have a lot of creativity here and a lot of projects going on. And if you want to learn more about the Quebec's video game industry and Montreal's video game industry, you can visit megamix.com. Megamix is our international event, our gaming festival that is coming next week from November 9th to 14th. So feel free to get all the info on the programmation and get your tickets, because you'll learn a lot about our industry if you assist to any of the activities. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Valerie and Emilia, for this. This is very insightful and gives you a great idea of how dynamic Montreal is. So let's get this party started. First, I would like to get comfortable with our panelists and get to know them a little better. So I will start off with Square Enix Montreal. So Square Enix Montreal was founded in 2011 as a traditional studio, but pivoted to mobile games, taking popular franchises such as Hitman, Deus Ex, and Lara Croft, and turning them into award-winning board games-inspired mobile game. So Alexandra, you hold a PhD in human-computer interaction. You've taught UX courses in France, where you're originally from, and in Canada. After working as a UX designer at big tech companies such as SAP, Cisco, and Sage, you joined the video game industry working for Ubisoft, and you're now working as a UX UI lead at Square Enix Montreal. So Alexandra, can you maybe tell us a little bit more about your story? What was the process to get where you are today? And how did you end up in the UX field, and how did you take the leap from France to Canada?
Sure. So hi everyone, I'm Alexandra. So as you said, I've got a PhD in human-computer interaction. So since the beginning, I was really interested by new technologies, but also by design. So for me, it was a good mix between all of that. So first, I was working in France for software companies. And then I had the chance to work in South Korea for a mobile game company. The name is Come To Us. So for me, it was my first step inside the video games industry, and I really liked that. So when I had the chance, the opportunity 3 years ago to join Montreal and Ubisoft, I was really glad to do that. So as a UX, so user experience person, I was in charge of working both on engine side, so trying to make all the engine tools easier to use, improve the usability for the users on the floor, for the ones who are making the video games. And I had the chance to work on the two unannounced projects. So as a UX, to make the game better, to have better experience, but also better accessibility. And this year in May, I joined Square Enix Montreal to work on a project that I can name because it has been announced. So I'm working on Hitman Sniper, The Shadows. So it was really great to work on that. So I'm in charge of a small team, UI team. So everything that is related to HUD, menu, and all the information that are provided in the game should be like aesthetic, but also clear and again, accessible for players. And user experience, the chance is to work with all the teams inside the game. So game designers, programmers, but also art teams. So it was really like, it's a good way to work with everyone. And I like that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alexandra. Thank you. I'm sure it's very enlightening for our audience who's maybe considering like taking the leap to come work in Canada. So our second panelist is Aude Berest, senior recruiter at Cinesite. So Cinesite is an award-winning digital entertainment studios with 30 years of experience and work on hundreds of film, TV, and streaming production. They have quite an impressive They have such an impressive filmography. Maybe you've heard about them, like we're talking about James Bond, Avengers, X-Men, Tomb Raider, Harry Potter, Rocketman. More recently, Respect, the biopic about Aretha Franklin, which I'm dying to see because I missed it on theater, so we'll have to wait a little bit more, as well as the last James Bond, No Time to Die. So Aude, my question for you is, well, after 10 years of supporting clients in various sectors with talent attraction, you made the shift to the visual effects and animation industry 6 years ago. So as a senior recruiter, what would you say is the biggest challenge you're facing at the moment? Like maybe what are the fields of expertise that are most in demand?
Hello, everyone. I'm Aude, I'm a recruiter at Cinesite, as Amélie was saying. So basically, what we are facing at the moment, I mean, the industry has been evolving like extensively in the last few years, especially with, you know, all the explosion of the streaming, like the Netflix or all this stuff. So like it's been crazy, the amount of content you can find. And especially with the pandemic, it has been almost it just added another layer of, you know, the demand is very growing. So, and at the moment as a studio, we are definitely having some pretty hard moment to find and retain talents. And I think it's the same for even for the gaming industry, but I mean, it's the same for everybody, right? So that's what we are facing at the moment. So as a recruiter, my daily moment are just to find people and to attract them to Cinesite, to our companies, to the project, because all artists are not driven by the same things. So if there are somebody who are looking for more projects, are looking for, I don't know, being in a long-term perspective, like there is really different motivation for everybody. So it's definitely what we are facing at the moment, like finding talents, retain them. As I was saying, like the industry has just exploded. So there is more and more studios that are settled because Montreal, as you were saying, Amélie, and before that, and before you, it was Valérie. It's been like a very growing industry. So for sure, we have more and more competition, and we are all looking for the same people. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. So we definitely are looking for find a lot of talents, immigration-wise as well. We are looking like we have kind of 40% of our workforce who are coming from like outside of Canada. So basically, it's the main challenge we have at the moment, and for sure we have to keep up of keeping our people here as well, like to make sure we can retain the talents, because it's really difficult to like because of this competition to keep our talent as well. So this is definitely something we are tackling at the moment. And what else? Also, like it's always very exciting for the artists that because they have a lot of opportunities, but at the same time we also have to provide a good work-life balance to our people, and sometimes it can be a bit disruptive to have so much turnover. So that's definitely something that we are working on. You know, having good fit for the team, a good onboarding plan, this kind of stuff. And there's definitely also the VFX. I don't know for the gaming industry, but for VFX, it's really fast-paced. So we are kind of to face the change of priorities. So it can be sometimes daily. It can change in a day. So that's definitely another thing that we have to cope with. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And in terms of the fields, for your second questions, every single area of the pipeline is like in demand at the moment. We are looking for assets people, animation, layout, compositors, production, pipeline, even support team. We have been struggling finding people, even for IT, HR. So that's definitely a growing industry for anybody, right? Coming from anywhere. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, that's very challenging right now, attraction and retention. Oh, I have to say you have very talented children who do incredible drawings.
Oh yeah, I know. We have artists here as well, right? Thank you.
Next up is Christine Xiao, Global Talent Acquisition Manager at miHoYo. So miHoYo was founded in 2012 by 3 Shanghai University's graduate students who shared a passion for technology as well as for the comics and games culture. With headquarters in Shanghai, China, miHoYo has 3,500 employees across global offices in Singapore, Canada, Japan, and Korea. So our panelist today, Christine, defines herself, and I'm going to quote because I love it, as a dream maker, connecting top talents to their dream job where they can unlock potential and achieve the impossible. That's beautiful. So Christine, you seem very passionate. So did you always want to work in the gaming industry? And what is it that you like most in this field?
Thank you, Emily. I like this question because it makes me reflect and look back on my career. I won't say that I always want to work in the game industry, but I did always want to work with the technology companies and always interested in the technology and innovation. So for the past 15 years, I have been recruiting primarily for the technology and the gaming industry, and I love it. Yeah, I mean, working in the game industry, there are two things that stand out to me. I think first is the people. I worked in EA and miHoYo, and the people in this industry are very fun. I mean, everyone I contact, the candidate and my colleagues, they are very fun and creative and passionate, and they really love what they do. The second is, I think it's consistent innovation. So in this industry, we consistently have some new technology. For example, VR, AI, right? For me, this is where I want to work, so I can witness and be part of those changes. Yeah, and I mean, I love my job. Yeah, I mean, as a recruiter, I mean, I love connecting talent to their dream job and helping people start new paths and new journeys. I always said, I mean, there's no best, but there is always the match. So match the best talent to the match company. Yeah, so I love it. And I love how the vision and the mission of the company inspiring me. Like in miHoYo, yeah, we have a vision to create a virtual world for billion people by 2030. So essentially a metaverse, which I'm sure you all heard this about recently. Yeah, so it's really cool to see that we are not just developing games, but that we're developing technologies that, I mean, yeah. So those things, I mean, it drives me work every day, very passionate, and I love, love it. Yeah, so.
Thank you so much, Christine. It's really great to see passionate people like you. I love it. So our last panelist is the wonderful Fleur Marty, executive producer at Warner Brothers Games and Women in Games ambassador. So Warner Brothers Games brings some of the most iconic characters and stories in entertainment to life through video game development. With multiple world-class development studios located across North America and the UK, WB has published numerous video games on multiple platforms, including classics such as Mortal Kombat, Batman, or Lego. So Fleur, you're originally from France and you started your career as a programmer, but quickly evolved towards project and production management. You made the move to Canada in 2013 to be a producer at Enix Montreal, where you work on Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And you joined Warner Brothers Games in 2018 to lead the development of Gotham Knights. So Fleur, having such a rich experience in the video games industry in two countries, what would you say makes Montreal such a unique and interesting city?
Hi. Thanks for the introduction. You might have a hint now that you've heard, especially like the presentations from Valérie and Emilien. What makes Montreal so special is just the amount of opportunities there is here. And as you said, like I started my career in France. I worked in France over 10 years before I made the move to Montreal. And anything you want to work on, any kind of project, any size of team, you can find it here. From like the biggest AAAs you can dream of to, if that's really not your thing and you want to be in like super small indie teams, if you want to work in mobile, if you want to work in AR and VR, whatever, you'll have, and everybody's hiring. Like literally everybody. And it's also like the richness of the kind of IPs. Like if your dream is to work on a specific IP, almost all of them are represented here. As you said, I mean, when you introduced me, I've been here 8 years. In 8 years, I've worked on Deus Ex. I've worked on Tomb Raider, and I'm now working on Gotham Knights, which is a DC Batman universe franchise. It's like, if you had told me 15 years ago, in just a few years, that I worked on such different and amazing franchises, I wouldn't have believed you. So that's what makes Montreal so special. I think is really that richness of opportunities. And I also think, from my experience, I found Montreal and the culture in Quebec in general to be so much more open to diversity, and it's I see so many more women in the games industry here, but not only women, but also very diverse and gender fluid people and trans people, and everybody is super open to it and open to making room for everybody's voice to be heard.
Thank you so much, Fleur. Yeah, we will get back on diversity later on because it is such an interesting and hot topic right now. Thank you. So yeah, Montreal is such a diverse and interesting and exciting ecosystem. So thank you so much for highlighting this. So now that you have a better sense of what Montreal has to offer in terms of opportunities, I guess most of the audience is wondering, how do I get in? Like, how do I work for these super exciting studios? What does it take to enter them? So our next team will try to answer that, as we will be discussing the skills needed to pursue a career in Montreal in the video game and VFX industries. So we are lucky enough today to have in our panel, among our 4 panelists, 2 expert recruitment, as well as a producer and a designer. So we have a really broad picture of the whole thing. So this is really great. So my first question on the skills related topic would be for Alexandra and Fleur. So I would be curious to know, what have you learned throughout your career that would be for you the most important thing when pursuing a career in the video game and industry? And like, what would be your advice to other people who would love to set off in a similar direction? Maybe Alexandra, you can go first.
Sure. For me, being passionate by video games seems more important for me. I was always a gamer, so that was really like a passion. I'm still playing like 2 hours per day. So working for this industry, yes, you have to try new games. You have to play your games, the competitors, and so on. So just to learn more about what are the trends, what people like, to bring fun to people, you have to experience it yourself. And for me, the second things would be being curious, because as we already say, like here, companies, people give you the chance. So it's okay to not know every tools, everything. But if you're curious to learn, I think you will find, yes, people or teams will give you the chance or help you to grow in that field. So I would say that.
All right, Fleur, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, sure. I was about to say, to me, really, the most important thing is be curious, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And there will always be people, in my experience, that will be just really happy to take the time and show you the ropes or explain you the thing. And most of the studios, I think, are really trying to make people feel safe enough that there is no dumb question, and that it's okay to not know everything on your first day and stuff like that. And also be curious about the things that are not in your area of expertise. It's very easy, especially if you're more in like big AAA teams. It's very easy to get like super focused on your very tiny bit of the piece of the game that you're making, and to feel like that it's the only thing that you'll ever do for the rest of your life. But get curious about the other disciplines, and you will learn. And I think my second advice then would be, unless you're really, really, really sure that you want to ultra specialize in something and make your life in it, try and learn other stuff and be more versatile. Because if you want to change type of projects, if you want to change teams, if you want to change size of studios and stuff like that, not being ultra specialized will help with that.
All right. Well, that's fantastic advice. I feel like this is such a stimulating industry, because you're like not in a static position. You're always moving around and you learn a lot of things all the time. So this is super exciting. Thank you so much, you both. So Odd and Christine, you are on the other side. You're on the recruitment side. So I would love to hear from you. What does it take to work in the gaming and VFX industries in Montreal? Could you maybe tell us the three main characteristics you're looking for in a candidate for a job? Christine, would you like to start?
Yeah. So as a recruiter, I think first the thing I look for is, can they do the job? Do they have the technical skills, ability, and knowledge, and meet the requirements of the role? Then I need to understand the company culture and evaluate if they are good for the working environment. The three characters. First one, I would like to say professional. So when we say professional, we mean hands-on, big picture oriented, and a good teamwork. And second, I would like to see open mind. Like miHoYo, we are building a global team in China, North America, Singapore. All focused on building up a new IP and the flagship. So we need people that are open mind and willing to adapt to the challenges and opportunities that come with working with the global team. The third should be the entrepreneur spirit. So we look for the enterprising people. We would like to see that, we're trying to, like miHoYo, we're trying to build the product out of imagination. So in this way, we always push ourselves towards the unknown. Like Flora mentioned, curious, try the new challenge. Yeah. So we need the people that can take their ownership, spot the opportunity, and have the courage to take the new challenge. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christine. Odd, would you like to add something more on the video game side?
The VFX.
The VFX, I'm sorry.
That can be a bit like a cliche, but so I will go with the cliche. Sorry about that. So for sure, I myself a big believer in the team. So I think you have to be a collaborator. You have to work in a team because it's a team. It's a teamwork. So for me, like above all, you are committed to a project, but also to a team. So you have to be a good team member. So because we are all accountable for the final result. So I think that's like collaboration, being mindful of the others, and communication between each other. It's something that is like we are looking for that, so that you will be able to grow, and also be make people grow as a team. So I think that's even it's like cliche, it's definitely something we are looking for.
So I guess one of the red flags that you will be looking for, because we have so many questions in the chat regarding recruitment, people are going crazy right now. So one of the red flags you would consider is someone who could not collaborate, who's not a team player. So that would be a big red flag for you, right?
That's definitely something that in that case, maybe this person should be just freelancing and doing his own stuff. But for sure, if you want to be collaborating to a project, you have to be a team player, because it's not just exactly what the Fleur was saying. It's just not the small pieces. Like it's part of a puzzle. You have the big picture at some point. So you have to be aware of the others. Yes. So it's kind of what we are looking for. But I think it's like very cliche for every type of stuff, but just saying the cliche. Sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes like the cliche on la vie dure, as I was saying. I don't know how to say it in English, but I
love it. I have two more questions regarding candidate choosing. So the first one is, would a candidate that has experience in IT but not in the video game industry or the VFX industry, would you consider that kind of candidate? That's my first question. And second question, do you have to be fluent in French to be considered for an opportunity, or do English-speaking people can they enter your studios as well?
At Cinesite, definitely doing the French is not mandatory anyway. Like English is the first language, so if you speak the English has to be mandatory, otherwise you will have a time to understand and being understood. So that's definitely, but the French is definitely not mandatory. And your first question, sorry about that.
Do you consider people working in IT?
Oh yeah, for pipeline, but it depends on again, we have to see the resume, but we definitely are open to see people coming from IT. Maybe they will enter a more developer type of position. It really depends on the profile, but yeah, that's great with these two industries. I mean, animation, gaming, and VFX, is because we are very open to see how transferable your skills can be from another industry to our industry. And I think that's definitely a wealth from this industry. So, and going back, sorry, about the characteristic, and so I was talking about collaboration, and I think that's also a very interesting one that can be sometimes a bit difficult for artists, because they are artists, so they are very passionate, and because they are very they like their own work, and sometimes they keep it very personal. So it's really important for us to people to be to have the awareness of their work and be open to constructive feedback, because it's how you grow as an artist, like to get feedback on your work. So it's important not to be too much rigid on your how you see things, because there is multiple way of seeing art, and sometimes your way is not the way the director likes. So you have to be open-minded about the feedback, to receive feedback, so that you can grow as an artist. And that's like, we always give the feedback in an empathetic way, and being really respectful. The idea is for the artist to grow and to develop its himself or herself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Christine, would you like to add something maybe regarding something that you see not often, but you love in a resume, and that you would advise people to do? Might be a portfolio or a demo, I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to see, I mean, when I got the resume, I mean, because in this industry, we always see what you did before. So if they can attach their some work, I mean, even the video or some pictures, I mean, they can show you not only the the resume, only the words on the paper. That would be a help. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. I think this answers a lot of the questions we are having on the chat right now. So since we cannot talk about recruitment and skills without addressing the very hot topic of diversity, inclusion, and gender equity, I am now turning to Fleur, who is an ambassador of the Women in Games organization. So Fleur, I would love to learn more and to hear more about the organization. So could you tell us more about Women in Games, and maybe what's your take on how the industry could be attracting more women?
Sure. All right. I'm gonna try and keep it like in a few minutes answer. That's a topic that could make for hours long talks. So just a few words on Women in Games. It's an organization that was founded in 2009. So it's getting quite old for compared to our industry. And it was originally founded in the UK, but it's now completely international. And its mission is to establish a gaming industry culture and community free from discrimination, where we have full equity of opportunity, treatment, and conditions to empower all girls and women from all ethnicities of all orientations to achieve their full potentials in the games and esports industries. And when we're talking about the games industry, that's really all the type of games industries. And I know there are some VFX people and animation people also part of the Women in Games network. So if you want more, there is a ton of different initiatives and all that. If you want more info on that, I just go to womeningames.org. And for people who are looking into getting in the games industry, there's a Discord server, and it's open. You don't have to be a woman. Women in Games is geared towards women, but we are welcoming anyone who is women or not, or just simply an ally. And if you have questions on how to get into the games industry, you'll have plenty of people to answer your questions and help you out with that. Now to the subject of women, how to get more women in the industry. As I said, it's a very, very complex and vast topic. I'll talk about two things. The first one, which is related to how to attract more women in the industry. I am fully convinced that it's about getting more visibility to the women who are already in the industry and creating role models. There's a lot of very well-known game directors, creative directors, and all that. Most of them are men. And we just need more women role models. And I want to just take 10 seconds to thank you, Amélie, because it is so amazing that all of us today here talking about the industry are women. I know it was by chance, but that's a good sign, actually. It means that we're getting there. So that's awesome.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Fleur, for sharing more information on women in games. Please go see their website. It's amazing what they do. Since we're an all-women panel, maybe I would like to have another take on that one. So Alexandra, do you have any insight on how we could be attracting more women to the table?
No, it's really similar ideas. I get that the more we have role models, it could help, for young women, for students, to help them to identify or project themselves in some career. So that's why I would just encourage to give more visibility to women that already are in the industry, so that younger people could have an image, a role model to identify with.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alexandra and Fleur, for your take on that. Indeed, this could be a whole other panel, a subject for a whole other panel, because there is so much that could be said and done to have more women at the table for this kind of industries. So thank you so much. It is so empowering and so inspiring too. So I am going to stay on Alexandra and Fleur for my next question. So we will get to the projects you loved. I know this is this is our last part of the panel, and this is very exciting because it will give our candidates a better idea of the concrete projects you've had the chance to work on and you are currently working on. So maybe we can start with you, Alexandra, on your favorite project ever you've had the chance to work on during your career.
Yeah, sure. So it's not very original, but that's my current project. So that's the first time I'm working on a mobile game initiative. So everything that I know so far I like. So it's smaller team, so really like human size. For instance, my team is only like 30% plus a few more external. So it's excellent to be able to communicate and collaborate with all the other person in the team. When we say mobile project, it also means that it's shorter projects. So usually that's kind of dynamic and good. So it's the timing is a bit different. So it's also something that I appreciate. Yes.
Thank you so much. It sounds so exciting. Fleur, would you like to share your favorite project ever?
It's really, really, really hard to choose one. Honestly, it's every single one of the games I've worked on have been amazing, whether they were success or not. It's every time it's an experience, and the most important thing for me is the people I go through this with, is the team I work with. So I don't want to pick a favorite. I refuse to pick a favorite.
Well, I get it. Would you like to talk about your current project then?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. We're happy. So yeah, my current project, Gotham Knights, has been announced for some time in 2022, and yes, we're killing Batman. That's one of the things that I get to talk about every single day with people. And when I was talking about the kind of opportunities that you have when you work in Montreal and you work on amazing franchises, it's the kind of stuff like you go into work and say, "Yay, Batman's dead!" So like we're putting it out of the way, and now we're putting you super cool superheroes at the front, including my favorite, who is Batgirl.
Batgirl. Wow. Can you tell us more about that? Christina, I'm so sorry. I have to tell you, you keep pressing the wrong button and you just like put yourself to the fore. So just please stop pushing the button. Thank you. So yeah, Fleur, can you tell us more about that project?
Sure. Well, so what I really love about our studio and the project and the way the team is working together is, so we have 4 core values in the studios that are really impersonated by everybody on the team. And the 2 most important ones for me are we join forces and we treat each other well. And this shines through every day. I see it all the time, and it was so important during the time of COVID, for instance, when everybody, like at the beginning, everybody was dealing with family at home and pandemic and stress and anxiety and all of that. And we were also trying to like get the development of the game moving, and it's high stakes, a lot of moving pieces, high stress and all that. But through all of this, the team stayed together, worked together. When I was talking earlier about the importance of being curious, and that people will make you feel safe about asking questions and not knowing all, that's something also I absolutely love that we have going on the team is it's okay for people to take risk, because they will not be blamed or pushed back in a corner if the thing that they're trying is not perfect from the get-go, if it's not the perfect idea, and we can iterate and all that. And we have a group of directors, and especially our creative director. I want to give a shout out to him, Patrick Redding. He empowers everybody around him. I've worked in the past with creative directors who can be a bit of a, like, divas and know-it-alls and all that, and that's not the case. And it's really awesome to be working with such a team.
Thank you so much, Fleur. That's very empowering, I want to say. So thank you so much for sharing that. We will soon be moving into the Q&A section. But before that, I really want to give an opportunity to all our panelists to share more about the day-to-day life at their studios and their corporate culture. So I would like to have Christine to tell us first what it's like to work at miHoYo. What is the corporate culture and the working conditions?
Yeah, so in some ways, our studio, like a lot of other studios, I mean, we are very fun and open, creative culture. And we have team building, annual gift, and training programs. I mean, those are the things you are expected in any gaming studio. But besides that, I mean, I would like to see the difference. There is one thing I think miHoYo is very different from others. I mean, we are a super flat organization. We don't like, a lot of organization politics, many layers of management, and make the teams really complex. So we are the company where we are focused on, I mean, our founders, I mean, they are the game designer, and on a day-to-day basis, our employee work directly with all the executives, and I mean, they build our game together. So this is a pretty special, I mean, aspect of, working at miHoYo. And being the super flanked organization, the fact that we are working on a new IP, people are here have opportunity to really influence the design and ultimate the outcome of our product.
That's very cool. Thank you so much, Christine, for sharing that with us. Maybe Audrey would like to go for Cinesite.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, that's a good point that Christine was saying, because I think at Cinesite we're also trying to keep this family spirit, so that you don't become too huge and like being lost in as a number. It's a bit of, again, like it's a bit caricatural, but just saying that it's very important for us at Cinesite, like people are enjoying their time for sure, and that they can raise their voice. So basically be part of the growth of the company, because without these people, we can't deliver any project. So that's kind of what we are really trying to promote as a company. And like, for sure, there is all the values. That's why I'm over there as well, because I feel that I'm sharing the values of the company, like, transparency, being positive, the equity, that's really important for us. collaboration. I was talking about that before, so I think you understood this one, and all like how we can learn, because it's not just if it's good to be in a comfort zone, but what we are trying to achieve is that people can be challenged, but challenged in the good way, so that they can be put in a success position. Because we have some people who started as runner and now they are leads, so it's this kind of empowerment, like Fleur was saying. That's kind of the thing Cinesite is also we are trying to encourage this kind of stuff.
Yeah, keeping on learning all the time. Thank you so
Exactly.
much. Thank you. Alexandra, would you like to share more about the corporate culture at Square Enix Montreal?
Sure, and a bit more about day-to-day. So my day-to-day at Square Enix Montreal, it's also being able to go to the office. So it's not mandatory at all. It's for just the person who wants to go there. And it was really fresh for me to be able to go, to work with people, with colleagues, to brainstorm and things like that. Other things that I like is Magic Monday at Square Enix. It's like every 2 Mondays we don't work, but we are paid. So basically it's working like 90% of the time. So it's really great and useful to have like time for family and things like that. I would say that it's also really like dynamic and energetic. There's a lot of creativity, to entertain colleagues and so on. So there are always like contests, or I think not so far there were like some treasure hunts in the studio to celebrate some good milestones. So yeah, always good ideas to try to bring joy and fun inside the teams. So yeah, that's kind of things that I like.
Wow, that sounds very cool. Where do I sign for the Magic Monday? Because I want in. Thank you, Alexandra. Fleur, you talked already a lot about the culture at Warner Brothers, like the empowerment you get, and when you work together during COVID. Is there anything you would like to add regarding corporate culture?
Well, just I think just as Square Enix Montreal, just want to mention, so we've started getting some people back in the studio because if they want, but we have a completely flexible policy on that. So we have people working fully remote. We have people working full time in the office now also, and then some coming and going and all that. We're trying to find a way to keep the spirit of the teams in the studio together, even in that hybrid environment, which I'm pretty sure is a challenge for absolutely everyone.
Yes.
And it's really important for us to not have the people who are not coming back in the office feel that they're not part, or they're missing out on stuff. So of course we also have like some on-site event. We just had a Halloween costume contest and stuff, and so there was an event on site for the people who were actually their costume, but then everybody else could enter and things like that. And yeah, we're working for Warner. So working for Warner Montreal is being part of a bigger thing, because Warner Brothers is huge, and Warner Brothers Games is part of Warner Media. So that's also like access to, like 2 weeks ago, we had the first screening of Dune for the entire studio. You have like the access to the huge catalog of games for everybody. It's a very, very, very creative company in general, and it transpires in everything.
Okay, all right. I love it. Well, I'm sure the audience agrees with me that this sounds terrific and extremely stimulating to be working in such an innovative and dynamic industry and within your studios. So thank you so much. This was the last question of our panel, and we are now ready to move into the Q&A questions. So we have received a lot of questions in the question section. So we are now joined by my colleague, Joshua, who will tell us about the question. Joshua, what did we get?
Yes, we got many interesting questions, and a lot of people use the upvote section as well. So I'll go a little bit random for everybody. I'm going to go straight from Alice, who's asking, so first off, thanks for the talk. Is there a known ratio regarding how many video game industry professionals are hired from other countries, or how hard is it for a foreigner to be hired?
Who wants to go on that one?
Perhaps Aude or Christine.
Oh yeah, so I think I mentioned a bit earlier that We have something around 40% of our employees are coming from abroad. So there's definitely a definitely chance for people coming from everywhere to be hired in this industry for sure. Like it's in huge demand. So for sure, I have to admit that immigration, we say that we don't talk about immigration, so I won't go too deep in that. But for sure, the pandemic was brought up some problems when it comes to immigration, getting the work permit for sure. But it's getting back. I don't know to normal, but it's getting better. So that's definitely a possibility for people to be considered. Sure.
But without getting too much into the immigration matters, it's important to say that when you consider a candidate and you want to hire a candidate, you are responsible for coordinating the work permit and everything. I think it's very important for the audience to know that.
They don't have to do it themselves. Like we support people in the immigration process. I think a lot of people in this panel know what it is to come from France or like abroad and to have a work permit. So that's definitely something the companies are supporting, like they are part of the process for sure.
Very good. Yeah, thank you. Valérie, maybe you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just want to add something, if I may. I don't know for the gaming industry, but for the VFX and animation industry, it's more than 40% of the talents that are coming from abroad. So yeah, it's a young industry, and we are looking for mid and senior position level when we're talking about foreigners that are coming in the position in Montreal.
Thank you so much, Valérie. Josh, do we have another question?
Yeah, sure. So there was a lot of questions about indie versus AAA studios. So I'm going to generalize it a little bit because there was a few questions like that. So how, or is it easy to move from an indie to AAA studio games?
Well, Fleur and Alexandra, I think this one is for you.
For me, I did the contrary. I think I came from a bigger studio like Ubisoft, and I went to smaller like Square Enix Montreal. So it really, I think it's possible to go from one to the other one. And Montreal and Quebec in general is so dynamic. There's so many opportunities and companies that it really depends on what you like. So I guess it's good for you to try if it's possible. Yeah, and me, just I can say that what I have now better fit my test. But yeah, it was really appreciated to be able to test the two experiences.
Yeah, I'll just jump in there and say what really, it's easy. What's going to matter, what people are going to look at is your experience and how it relates to what we're looking for. And whether you've worked on indie stuff, going to AAA, or on AAA stuff, going to indie or stuff, doesn't matter that much. And it's really what's going to match your tastes, as Alex said.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I think we can move on to the next question.
Yeah, so I have another great question from Alice. So she was asking about red flags while analyzing candidates. We did speak a little bit about that, but on the other end, she was saying, what are the green flags? What's really considered as a great feature in terms of candidates when you're looking to hire someone?
Odd, would you like to jump in?
I think it's what we've been saying about the characteristic we are looking for. So it's basically this kind of stuff that will be good. And I agree with all what Fleur and Alexandra and Christine said about being curious and all this stuff. I mean, that's definitely something that we will be looking for. And just be eager and be motivated and not just be here just to punch and get just a salary. Like you have to be like involved in that, being motivated to go to work and like show it.
Passionate. I think that's what you all are when you talk about what you're doing.
I mean,
in this industry, this is like you're passionate and it shows.
Definitely.
Yeah. Josh, do we have another question?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if we'll have the answer, but I thought it was quite interesting. Someone was asking, and I just lost the question. My apologies. Johanna Ribeiro was asking, which top 3 university programs would you recommend, either here or if you know some that are abroad? I think it's gonna help people abroad maybe funnel their career into maybe better programs and such.
Emilia is nodding, so I think you want to answer that one.
Well, maybe my colleagues here have more experience with recruiting, so they would be the ones who could answer better the question. But certainly we have a lot of opportunities in the more technical fields, programming, IT, and really all of the programs that are available here in Quebec in the universities and the CEGEPs in video game design or animation or VFX, they are all quite searched for in the industry. So any program related to these fields would be great. But we are looking for a lot of programmers and a lot of more technical expertise.
Thank you, Emilia. Odd and Christine, are there some top university, top notch that you really like to see on a resume?
From my side, I mean, if from for the programmer, if from the Waterloo, McGill, yeah, I think we would love to see that.
Perfect. Odd, on your side, do you like? Are you looking for
like in terms of in Quebec or like
anywhere?
But I don't know, like honestly I don't know all the university in all the world, so that's difficult to know. I would say that usually like there is a lot of bachelors pretty much everywhere in the world, so as soon as there is animation, VFX type of, I mean, it's better if you want to enter, but there is a lot also of professional type of classes that you can take, I'm saying out of like, because it's off the top of my mind, like iAnimate or Animation Mentor, kind of stuff. You can also like bring another layer of your, like, just to develop a bit more your skills. But I don't think there is there is some very great university. I know because I'm French, so I know a lot of good university in French, but there is a lot of university pretty much everywhere. So it's really hard to answer this question, honestly. I'm sorry about that. That's not an answer, but...
Yeah, no, that's perfect, because Emilia and Christine have mentioned several universities, so we have a better idea, all in all. Josh, do we have another question for our panelists?
Yeah, for sure. I think a question that might be able to be answered by almost everybody on this panel, but is working in the VFX and gaming industries what you expected? And what was your biggest misconception you had, and was it true or false?
Ooh, that's a good one. Fleur, Alexandra, would you like to jump in?
Sure.
Go ahead, Alexandra. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Okay, so I would say that it's a bit different from what I expected. So it's true that it's young, dynamic, and I think the fun is here. What was different? Maybe I didn't expect the lower, how many women was there. So there's, as we said, that the number is still increasing, but because I didn't have so many expectations about that, so it was a bit different when I joined. How about you?
Yeah, Flo, we want to hear everything.
No, yeah, I was about to say, honestly, I didn't expect a lot. I started in video games a very long time ago, a bit by accident. And when I got my first job in video games, I was like, what? Somebody's going to pay me to make video games? What? So I didn't have a lot of expectations. So that's one thing that's not a misconception. Like, if you're passionate about it, actually, it's awesome. One thing maybe that I wasn't expecting from the get-go, and especially because I started in very smaller teams and moving to way bigger ones, is that every single person has the opportunity to make an impact on a game. And that's awesome. Your ability to contribute is huge, even if you're a junior, even if it's your first time. And the joy that you have the very first time you see the thing that you've made and you realize it's being played by millions of people is just, there's nothing like it.
Well, that's great. I love hearing that. Thank you so much, Josh.
Yeah, thank you. There is a great question from Saswata, and they're asking basically, what tools do you advise us to explore to deepen the topic of and to help us immerse in the gaming universe? So yeah, any specific tools you guys are looking for, or something that's coming about and right now that's getting more popular, so that might help and candidates deepen their knowledge?
It really depends which métier we're talking about, really, because.
All right. So maybe Odd and Christine, are there specific tools that are like this very on demand and that you're not finding right now, or that you would advise the candidate to learn?
Yeah, it's very specific, like engine programmer we are looking for who are familiar with the Unreal 5. Yeah, and for the artists, we are looking for who are the ZBrush, those things. So it's very specific. I mean, yeah, depends on what job you are applying for.
All right. Well, the candidates can have a better idea of that on the job offers. We will give the link to the event later on, and all of the studios presented today have put their offers on our website. So you will be able to see the tools, the requirements, and so on. Josh, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, I have another one. Kind of stands out for me. I mean, it's Saswata again was asking, do you encourage transitioning from mobile to AAA studios or VFX industry? Is it encouraged, or?
I can tell you if I can start if you want. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any problem. Right? It's very connects type of industry, so I mean, there's definitely a lot of bridges between the two industries. So yes, it really depends on the profiles, because it's really pretty. It's pretty linked to the previous question about the tools, because for example in VFX we are not using 3ds Max, it's just an example, because it's but we are using Maya. So when we are just working with 3ds Max, you have to kind of relearn a bit not from the beginning, but there is kind of a learning curve. So it depends on the profiles, but there is definitely bridges that can be done depending on if the technologies are quite the same. I don't see any problem.
All right, so I think we've had a lot of interesting questions. I would really like to thank the audience for being so involved and for asking such relevant questions. It's really, really nice to have you. We were full house today, so I hope you had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. So this panel is being recorded and will be available, so you can watch it later if you want. Or for those who were not able to see it, you can see it later. So now is the time to end our panel. I would like to thank once again our 4 incredible panelists and our 2 fantastic co-hosts. So thank you so much, Alexandra, Aude, Christine, Fleur, Valérie, and Emilien. Thank you so much for being here today. As for you, the audience, we hope that you have learned a great lot about Montreal's ecosystem, and that you would consider maybe taking the leap to Montreal to work within one of these marvelous studios that were present today. That's a perfect segue for me to remind you of our international recruitment event happening from November 15 to 21st, which is called Journée Québec Gaming and VFX. Josh will be able to send you a quick call to action, and you can click the link to see all the great job offers that our studios have available right now. So you have until the 12th of November to apply, so don't miss the opportunity. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Thank you for our amazing team that was present today. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and see you soon in Montreal. Bye. That's a perfect segue for me to remind you of our international recruitment event happening from November 15 to 21st, which is called Journée Québec Gaming and VFX. Josh will be able to send you a quick call to action, and you can click the link to see all the great job offers that our studios have available right now. So you have until the 12th of November to apply, so don't miss the opportunity. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Thank you for our amazing team that was present today. Thank you so much. Have a great day and see you soon in Montreal. Bye.